Saturday, and today let us continue the way we explained you on last sessions. This is regarding the world powers, and also I made a kind of a research. It's a kind of a research who will be the next superpower into another in next 100 years, right? So I asked from the Gemini, what will happen in the future if China will be fallen on its communist regime, and the world will become into a multipolar power architecture, or does the US will be remaining as it's a superpower in the globe, or China will be become the superpower in the world? So is this is actually like a PhD research matters, right? We need like a in-depth analysis report in with the deep analysis, pinpoint accurate details explained by everything, right? Okay. Let's talk about the unraveling of era navigating in for a post-communist China, and the dawn of the global power architecture, right? The dawn of the global power architecture. Let's see, China has fallen. We don't know in the future Russian regime and the Chinese regime and the North Korean regime and the Iranian regime can be fallen. That's how the world, most of the world's, you can say the scientists, the futurists, they say sometimes there are some chances the Chinese government can be fallen, right? So the proposition of the dissolutions of the Chinese Communist Party, we call it as a CCP, as a 7-decade-long rule on its cascading impact on the global order presents on the most profound and complex questions of our time. For a doctoral research book or nuanced of multifaced analytical or analyst, it's like a paramount and steering clear, deterministic and predictions, and instead, or exploring a spectrum of plausible scenarios, some plausible scenarios. This is kind of a report I'm going to explain you, and this report and offers the in-depth analysis and the potential internal dynamics of the post-communist China, and the consequent of recalibration of the shape of the world and the global power architecture. So in this case, actually addressing whether the world is distinct for a multipolar configuration or continued American hegemony, and also rise to a new Chinese superpower. So let's segregation into the parts, right? And let's see actually the fall of the titan scenarios of the post-communist China, right? Actually, we cannot dismiss of the CCP, Chinese Communist Party. Should it occur, or would be highly unlikely, but we do not know, would likely or not, like a singular. It's a kind of a singular event, but in a process, right? Within overnight, it cannot be happen. Either can be happen or cannot be happen. But anyhow, it will take some time to fall in the Chinese regime. So nothing is existing in the world forever. It can be anything can be fallen, anything can be ripped off, right? Fallen into the parts, right? It's triggered. It can be triggered by confluence, like acute and the chronic. It's a chronological matter, and the chronic pressures, like understanding of the nature of its collapse, of also what are the reasons, and also the crucial of the projectiling in the future trajectory and of the Chinese state, right? let's make some kind of fragmentation, internal fragmentation, and the specter of the borderlism, right? So the world order can be changed at any time. I mean, in a leading and deeply concerning scenario, let's see the scenario, deeply concerning scenario, like internal fragmentation of China and CCP's highly centralized power structure. It has, yeah, same like the all other communist countries. So actually, particularly under the Xi Jinping, while appearing the robust and may in the fact in brittle, like the absence of the clear succession plans. There are other successes. Actually, I think this is the last year of Xi Jinping, and he might be retired, and another person will come. I don't know who will be coming, and also purging and dissenting voices create a vacuum in the heart of the at the heart of the regime, like allied fractures, like kind of allied fractures. When it comes to allied fractures, so the surge of the economic crisis, failed military venture, like in kind of a invention of Taiwan, and also environmental catastrophe, and shelter and allied cohesion, and the underpins CCP roles and rival factions, and no longer like a bound like it's like a party in the party disciplines, right? Could wire for control and potentially leading for geographical geographical provinces, and the clustering provinces, provisioning, and also reminiscent. It's a kind of a war, like a warlord era in the early 20th century. So many countries, like as you can see, the British Empire has fallen after the Second World War, right? So that's a result of Sri Lanka got the freedom. Like we can say, not a freedom, it's kind of a fully independence in 1972 we got, and I would believe in half independence, like a 50% of independence we got in 1948, right? And when it comes to the military divisions, like such a vast army, and the military, like the People's Liberations Army, and currently the army, the armed wings of the CCP would be ultimate arbitrary, like such a crisis. It is still there are some issues like a monopolization, and also kind of corruptions in the PLA, People's Liberation Army. It can be split within the military leadership, could be catastrophic, also transforming the political crisis into a full-blown civil war. So I hope China would never, for China it would never happen. And also economically, disparities, like flood lines, like a vast economy like China. China is the world's largest economy, and the vast economy and social disparities, and between the prosperous coastal regions and the less developed interior parts, like a middle of the country, like you can see in Sri Lanka, central province in India, the coastal lines has developed, and for example, in India, if you see Mumbai and the Delhi, those places are highly developed, not like highly developed compared to Sri Lanka and compared to other countries. It's been developed a lot, right? So with this global economic ties, coastal mega cities like Shanghai and Shenzhen, so Shenzhen and Shanghai. So actually, this with their global economic ties and might seek the greater autonomy and even the independence to preserve this prosperity, while it's the inland regions could fall under the control of more nationalistic and the populist leaders, right? Uh, highly unlikely can be happen, but we do not know, right? In the future also we do not know, because country like China, they have a well developed structure and planned economical structure, right? And the state government owns so many controlling so many things, and they have so many loyalties. So many people, they are loyalties to the Chinese government. So the thorny path of the to the democratization, let's say democratization, how many levels it could be happen and how it could be happen, and if it happens, which pathway it follows, right, in the future. So in some point, while the international community might hope some democratic transition in path of liberal and pluralistic China would be fraught with the challenges, right? The fraught with the challenges like let's say absence of democratic institutions, like decades of authoritarian rules have hollowed out into the civil society, and it is eradicated by a semblance of organized political oppositions, right? So there are no pre-existing democratic infrastructure to build upon. So it will take some time. Okay, and second thing is the Taiwan model and mainland realities. This is another crucial point, right? When it comes to the Taiwan model and the mainland realities, the successful democratization of Taiwan offers it's a beacon of hope of its applicability to the mainland. It is very, very much limited, right? Taiwan's transition was elite led by the Kuomintang KMT under the specific historical and the geopolitical conditions, right, in since 1950s and 1960s. So including the similar homogeneous population, and also clearly external threat that fostered sense of the national unity. That's how it happens in 1940s under the Chinese rule, after the Mao Zedong, right? The risk of eligibility of the democracy, it's a highly more likely outcomes in a short to the medium terms, and also it could be a rise of so-called like illiberal democracy, right? Not a liberal democracy, illiberal democracy. So, or a competitive authoritarian regime in this scenario, like the elections might be held, and but they could be managed to manipulated by the powerful interested groups, and also leading to a system that democratic in form but not in the substance, right? Also, number three, the rise of a new authoritarian, the collapse of Chinese Communist Party. It is kind of a dream to all the people in all over the world. So I don't know, in a 20 years of time, within another 20 years of time or 30 years of time, within our lifetime, it could happen or not, we do not know. So we should rather to wish it would not be happen, because China, unlike other countries, they help a lot to Sri Lanka also. But on the other hand, they were the highly percentage of responsible of the corruptions of under the Mahinda Rajapaksa regime in Sri Lanka, right? So I have to say you the same thing, whatever the people say. Some people can say China helps to Sri Lanka. Yes, of course, China helps Sri Lanka on the Hague, and also something which is there are some United Nations Security Council, and also United Nations these Switzerland and Geneva, the councils, they have brought some of the allegations against the human rights in Sri Lanka. They have made a lot of allegations against to our country. But fortunately or unfortunately, China was with us. At the same time, they support us a lot, and Russia was with us. They support us a lot. And when it comes to the collapsing of the Chinese communist regime and the rise of the new authoritarianism, so collapse of the Chinese Communist Party does not necessarily like equate to the end of the authoritarianism of China, right? The strongman future, like a figure, is promising, like ironclad figure. What happened in 1940s under the communist regime? I remember in Russia under the Stalins and Lenins and the Stalin, right? So this could emerge to a restoring order, and this could emerge to a chaos, right? Number one, nationalist fervor. The nationalist fervor, like in the post-communist party power vacuum, the national sentiment is already spoken by the party for the decades, which has happened in the last so many years, right? Under their rule, so potentially leading of to an even more aggressive and expansionist foreign policy, like also techno-authoritarianism, no. Handy, I want to tell you something. This is a political discussion, it is not a political discussion, Handy. How are you, Handy? Hi. And I want to say you, this is all about I am going to explain you some kind of a futuristic matters, right? In the future, this is not a prediction. This is kind of a thing. It is all about the multipolar architecture, and it is all about the geopolitics, right? Not the Sri Lankan politics, but the geopolitics. If in the future the Chinese Communist Party has collapsed, and if the Chinese communist regime has collapsed, or this is all about the superpower in the world. Now we have 2 or 3 multipolar architectures, multipolar superpowers. One side is in China, other one is in USA and European Union, and also Russia, right? We have a few. So I'm gonna explain you if in the future, another 100 years to another 200 years. So if Chinese government fallen, or who will be the next superpower in the world, and will USA, if not collapse, right? If not collapse, will USA remaining as a superpower in the world in the future? So that's what I'm going to explain you with some facts, right? The government also need to focus on, I don't know what you're talking about, which government you are talking about, right? I don't understand which government you're talking about, right? Not our government. I'm not talking about Sri Lankan government, because Sri Lanka is a very tiny island and we don't have any world powers. We don't have to think about it, and we have so many problems, domestic problems, and we are under the chaos, and we are under the recession still, and we are now among the poorest countries in the world. So we have nothing to talk about it, right? And I'm not talking about Sri Lanka or anything, right? So the techno-authoritarianism, also the vast surveillance apparatus created by the CCP could be inherited into the repurposed, right? Repurposed for a new authoritarian regime, and it creates a techno-authoritarianism that even more efficient and more inclusive, right? What happened to the global power chessboard? The world after Chinese Communist Party has collapsed. Let me explain you. The nature of China, in turn, the tension would have like a seismic impact on the global power structure, right? And the question is not simply whether the US remains as a superpower, or if the China still ascends, but how the very architecture, how the very architecture of the global power is reshaping. That's so no, I mean, Handy. Anyway, this is government. That's what the government also need to focus on. Means I don't know which. If you can explain me which government have to focus on. Already the world most powerful government, they have the plan B, like a protocol B. If the protocol 1 is there, like protocol 1 is there, there is a protocol 2 and protocol 3. There are number of different protocols, right? So we don't have to worry about the Chinese government. Highly, it is unlikely to be collapsed. But I'm saying you, if it is collapsed, how it's regained the power in the future, right? How it affect to the geopolitics and the future of the world. I'm talking about the future, not right now, and not present situation, right? This is kind of a prediction and the futuristic, right? And the end of the unipolarity and the dawn of the messy of the multipolarity. Multipolarity means multipolar architecture, right? The fallen of the CCP, like a Chinese Communist Party, it would definitely mark the end of the post-Cold War and unipolar moment of the American dominance, right? However, you can say it could be necessarily to lead to a stable and balanced multipolar world. Instead of that, we would likely enter the period of messy multipolarity, right? And the characterized like the rise of the regional hegemons, and also the wounded but resurgent by the United States, like a US. The US would likely remain the world's most powerful nation, and the immediate aftermath the CCP collapse. However, it would be wounded, like a wounded superpower, facing the global landscape, increase the instability and diffusions of the power. Like the US would be forced into the negative world with the multiple and competing the power centers, right? And the more assertive Japanese and the unified Korea in East Asia can be happen, increasingly influential of India, like Indian Ocean region and beyond, also resurgent of the Russia. It's also seeking filling the power of vacuum of Central Asia and Europe as well, and also empowered of European Union. It's still European Union is powered, right? We cannot underestimate that. We cannot degrade that. Also, the streaming of the greater strategic autonomy, and also like a proliferation conflicts. The collapse of the major powers like China power leads to a period like the period of like heightened and the conflicts of the regional rivalries, like the once surpassed and the come to the force, right? Like the China question in the multipolar world, like it's like diminished, but still the potent of China, right? Even the fragmented democracy of China, it is still in the holding, like Russia today. It will be holding as a major power, also, right? Also, like you can say, even though end of the Chinese threat, like for the organizing principles, for decades the China's threat has been a powerful organizing principles for U.S. foreign policy and also it is domestic politics, right? The absence of its clearly advisories could lead into a more inward, looking to a politically fragmented America, right? That's how it goes. And secondly, the unilateralism and leading to among the equals, like US would have to adapt its own foreign policy, and from one unilateral dominance to one building the leading coalitions of like the minded states, right? It is ability to influence to the global events would depend more on more its diplomatic and skills and also attractiveness of its political and economic model than on its raw power. So this is how it goes, and when it comes to the final conclusion, the new era is uncertainty and also opportunity, right? So in the conclusion, the fallen of the Chinese Communist Party would not usually, it's highly unlikely, but how usual, it's a simple or predictable to a new world order, right? Mostly and probably outcome is the transition to a major complex of potentially more volatile in the multipolar world. That's number one, right? Number two, the dream of democratic and the peaceful China emerging for like a phoenix, like from the ashes of authoritarianism, and but a remote one. The risk of the internal fragmentation in civil conflicts and the rise of the new form of the authoritarianism, it's kind of highlighted insignificant, right? So it can be happen, right? It cannot be happen. We do not know. I'm going to explain if it happens, how it happens, and why it happens. Okay, if at the end, what kind of results, what kind of impacts, how the world order can be changed. That's my focus and main objective in this video, right? For the United States, the demise of its chief rival would be Pyrrhic victory. But I don't think so. It will happen soonly or later, right? Perhaps. It would remain the world's leading power, but in the world that is far more difficult to lead, right? Unipolar moment would be definitely over and replace the messy and contested into a multipolar landscape. So I hope you enjoy today this video, but the beginning of now uncertain, the potentially previously it will happen in the 22nd century, in the next 100 years or 200 years. But how much percentage could be happen? And we do not know. Well, if North Koreans get involved on this, no. North Korea is not strong enough to, they do have the nuclear weapons, to be honest with you, but they are not, I don't think so they are as much as powerful as China, right? It's a small country. It's not a big country like US, and they cannot compete with US. I'm not talking about the nuclear war. I'm not talking about the nuclear holocaust. I'm not talking about the societal collapse. I'm not talking about something which is unrealistic. I'm talking about the multipolar architecture of the world, how it can be reshaped, and how it could be changing into a different formation and those kind of fragmentation, how can fixed and how can be patched by a small country like now North Korea, because they are also some parts of North Korea, they don't have the electricity. Also, they don't have, they are the country enormous and emerges under the in some point under the poverty level, right? So they do have some their own problems. So if the China collapse, North Korea is being collapsed, will be collapsed as well, right? They are still holding the communism because of China, right? China backing up them, right? So you know about the Koreans, you know about the Samsung, right? Samsung is one of the great companies in the world, right? Even the hard technology and future soft technology. So whatever. I'm talking about the futuristic and also future studies and future predictions. How it could, if it happens, how it evolves, how it could be happen, and how it can be impact to the world, and how is the world change the world order and change the reshaping the world order. That's how I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, Handy, I have to go now, and it's almost 31 minutes. Thank you for watching my video, and please subscribe and please comment if you like the video, and encourage me so we bring you something new in every day. Bye bye. God bless you.